So I look at my phone.
Yes.
Every single person I know texting me, calling me, Elliot's called me. I'm going through my phone like this, sliding on the messages, and I see, I'm like, did Taylor Swift wear our product? Because that would be crazy. And then I call you, and Elliot's like, whatever you're doing, put it down. It's time to get to work. It was like...
And today I'm here with Phase It, which is a small business that's become an Amazon favorite.
Okay,
It
well,
works
you
really
two,
well.
welcome to
Thank
Anna's
you.
Guide. I'm so happy that you guys are here, and I'm honored to have you on the podcast. And anybody listening, guys, we have our first real guests, which I'm so excited about. Can I start with like a little introduction?
Of
Let's have
course.
names and little backgrounds.
Please.
Your elevator pitch. I'm ready for it.
Oh God, Nina, you go first.
Okay, well, my name's Nina LaBruna. I grew up in New York City. I'm 28 years old, and I went to NYU, studied nutrition, got my master's in nutrition, always had an interest in beauty, wellness, health, all of that fun stuff. And then met this lovely lady about 6-7 years ago. This is our second business venture together. So...
Oh, and you're getting married.
And
yes,
you're getting
I'm
married.
getting married. So is she.
Wait, when is it? Wait, when
We're
are
both
the
getting
when are
married
the-
in
Also, the
2025.
rings are stunning, you guys.
Thank you. We
I'm
have creative
dying.
men.
Stop. Honestly, yes. Those are both
Yes.
very original rings.
Yes, we'll hook you up.
Oh my gosh, deal. I need it.
I'm Aliette Buttleman. I grew up in South Florida, moved to New York 10 years ago when I started a modeling career. Jumped around, lived in Paris, Australia, Germany, came back to New York, went to Columbia University, studied econ, met Nina. We both have never worked for anyone before. We
Yeah.
just keep starting companies and working
Working
with
for
each other.
That's the dream, though.
It is the dream.
Yeah.
And yeah, still live in New York and also getting married this year.
Mhm.
Oh, stop. That's so exciting.
Thanks.
Oh my gosh, are you guys nervous about your wedding? So you're excited about
We
your
haven't done anything. We haven't planned anything yet.
wedding? Wait, really?
No, Nina's planned
No,
more.
I planned a lot.
All right, no, Nina, this is like how we're so different.
Tell me.
Nina gets engaged this summer. I got engaged the year before. Haven't planned anything still.
Love.
Nina
not true.
planned
Your
her
wedding's
wedding.
planned.
Nina planned her wedding in 4 days.
In like 2 weeks.
Okay, I need that kind of focus.
No, you need
I
that
have
kind
to
of
say,
mom.
no, I have to say that's
stop.
my mom. Yeah,
It's your mom.
100%
I
my
love a mom.
She had a binder.
My
Slay.
mom was like, "Do you want your own binder?" And I'm like, "Ones that paper go in?" And she's like, "Yes." I'm like, "I don't use paper. I don't
No.
know. I don't know. I'm gonna use it all."
You're like, I don't
on my
believe
Google
in
Drive.
physical. Yeah. I'm so excited for like my community to hear your guys' story and hear like how they can get in on the good stuff when the time comes they have an idea or an inspiration or a goal. It's fantastic.
Oh, girlies, we got you.
The girlies. We're here for the girlies. Amazing. Okay, well, let's start with like the ultimate question. What are your two businesses? How did you get here? What inspired them?
Yeah, so Phase It is a beauty patch brand that offers instant confident boosting results with easy form makeup patches such as the glitter freckles I'm
Literally,
currently
look how
wearing.
beautiful she looks with these on. I'm obsessed with them.
Thanks. So that's basically the main company we're working on now, but we'll talk about like how we got to Phase It and just our previous ventures. We started a company years ago when I graduated NYU. I started this like topical skincare line, and that kind of got me into the beauty space.
Yes,
but-
my witchy girl Nina over here, she was actually making potions in her NYU dorm room and doing like Reiki and like teaching private yoga sessions. And then she had these like liquid gold, like amazing products. And we met and I was like, girlfriend, we got to get you out of your dorm room. We got to like get into
We
retailers.
gotta get this real. And you're like, my e-commerce degree is coming in handy
Yeah,
right now.
I
You're like,
got
I'm
you,
ready.
girl.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. Oh my gosh, what was like the goal? Like, what inspired you to do skincare?
Oh my gosh. Well, we were talking about this briefly before, but I have lots of like little hobbies and things I dabble in. So I think I got into skincare because my parents are both doctors in the cosmetic space. My dad is a plastic surgeon. So I've always been around like skin and cosmetics, and my mom was really into skincare. So like that's when I started learning about cosmetics, and she would give me little facials at night.
So cute.
Yeah, it was so cute.
But you're also like girls in the garden. Like you were making your own sea moss gel at home.
Yeah. My mom and I started making products together. One time we like went to the beach and found seaweed and
Stop.
literally blent it up thinking we'd make like a seaweed mask. It smelled putrid. It was the worst smelling thing. We both gagged when we opened the blender, and we had to dig like a 3-foot hole in the yard and bury it because
Oh
it was
my
so
gosh. You're like, we literally can't even throw this in the garbage.
Yeah.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
I don't know. I guess it just kind of came through influences from my parents and then influences from my nutritional studies. And it kind of just happened. I was making products for fun, and people loved them so much that they were like, you cannot stop making this. I need to buy it. I need to gift it.
Yeah.
So that's when I actually turned it into a brand and a company, and then was introduced to Elliot, who's like an amazing marketing whiz person and just helped take that company, La Bruna, to the next level.
Oh my
And
gosh.
that's when we started working together.
Also, cute name, La Bruna. That's your last
That's
name
my
too.
last
Wait, I was
name.
gonna say it's such a cute name for the brand. I'm obsessed.
Thank
And then
you.
how did you like also love skincare and that's why you're like, oh my gosh, this product's so amazing, or did you try it and that's how you knew it was something you
Well, I
wanted
had
to?
no idea about skincare.
Okay,
I
love.
like used like CeraVe and like that was it.
Okay.
But I worked as a model for 10 years. Was on sets for major beauty brands and fashion brands. So was always like exposed more to like how to create a brand rather than the actual using the product.
Absolutely.
When you're on set, they are not using the actual product that they're advertising.
Yeah.
Right? They're like spraying the hairspray.
Exactly.
Not the same hairspray that they're really advertising.
Yeah.
But once I met Nina and tried her products, she started educating me on what you're putting on your skin, ingredients, and I really, I fell in love with your products. And then, I don't know, I got invested in the education side of all of it.
What was your biggest struggle when you were first starting out and like trying to grow the business? Like how did you get in front of the right people?
For Phase It, we went into it knowing that we wanted to create a more mass market type of product, accessible price points. La Bruna Skincare was ultra feminine, and I think we wanted to step away from that. It's also a very expensive company to run. And when we started Phase It, like, we are going to fundraise immediately. Everyone's going to give us money, and we're going to have all this money to work with to create this like most amazing brand ever. And we will have our vision come to life with someone else's money. And it didn't really happen that way. There was like a lot of no's, and they want you to have revenue immediately.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, well, I have no money to market this, so how can I have revenue? It's like the chicken before the egg conversation.
Exactly.
So every man told us no, and a lot of those conversations were, oh, like, let me have my wife or my daughter try out the product, and then like we'll get back to you.
Yeah.
And like no one was necessarily taking what we were doing seriously.
And also, like, they might not have felt like it fit them as a demographic of who it's going to
100%.
benefit, but that's who is going to be investing in it. So it's difficult. Like, how do you convince someone who it doesn't apply to trust the process
Yeah,
in a way?
Exactly. And they should think of it more as an investment into founders or into a different demographic. You don't need to be the demographic to invest in a
Agreed.
company.
Exactly.
So that was really hard at first. We're like, okay, great. No one is giving us money, so what are we going to do now? And we really got scrappy, and you learn so many lessons of, figuring out how to work with nothing, basically, and
Yeah.
teaching ourselves all these skills. Like, Nina started trying to dabble in Photoshop, and she made a really great website that looked like from the early 2000s.
Oh, it was not great. It was
Love.
embarrassing.
No,
and
honestly.
I was like cringing every time like I knew someone was looking at our site, but it got us by in the beginning.
Exactly.
So yeah, I don't know. We had to find ways to just be lean and scrappy and make ourselves be seen in the world without money in the beginning. And we wanted to get it. When we launched Phase It, we said, let's expand in the patch space of beauty, whether
Yeah.
it's makeup patches, which we are now doing, or skincare patches like we started. And we thought, let's, create a bikini patch for ingrown hairs. Like,
Yeah.
that hasn't been done yet.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. But so, like, if that was, like, your first product, how did you, like, come up with the face patches and the makeup patches? And, like, where was the inspiration for that?
Yes.
Like, was it something that you felt like you wanted or wish you could have found when you were searching the internet? Or,
Yeah, well, I personally just started getting a little more into makeup and cosmetics and glam, and was looking at all of these trends online, and we did pretty well with the bikini patch, but I thought, why not get into makeup? Like, we can do makeup patches.
Yeah.
That really hasn't been done yet. Like, that category doesn't really exist. Why don't we like create a new category? I mean, that's bold. That's gonna make us stand out. The broccoli
yeah,
trend.
like,
I
the
don't know if
little,
you
like,
saw
how do
that.
you get it in and, like, dipping
Yeah.
the broccoli
with the
bronzer?
henna, like,
yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
okay, there has to be an easier way to get this freckle effect.
Yeah.
So we created the first like very fast forming, easy to use freckle patch, but why not take it a step further? Like, our whole thing was, let's be bold, let's stand out, like, let's do these fast form videos that get virality and get attention. So we made it sparkle.
Also, like, we're gonna have to get close-up shots at the end of this at how cute they look. Like, they look so natural, and I feel like that's what's crazy is, like, they just have to catch the light right, and it's, like,
Yeah.
so playful and feel good. We were even just talking, like, for the Sabrina Carpenter, like, I am gonna wear these tomorrow.
I knew this product was going to be a hit because when I got the samples and started wearing them around, just like to go to get my coffee or like get my hair done,
Yeah.
the amount of compliments and people literally running up to me on the street to ask me what they are. They're like, what's on your face? Like, are those glitter freckles?
Yeah.
And I was like, this product's going to be huge.
Yeah.
Because you can see it, right? So like people wearing it, that's marketing right there. That's like, it gets attention. It's quite shocking and quite bold.
Nina had this video that went viral. She's like, guys, when I wear these, I get hit on all the time. And people are like, nah, girl, like, you're just trying to promote your product. Like, you don't get hit on. People buy them and wear them, and the reviews on our website is literally got hit on so many times.
No, stop.
It's a conversation starter.
It's the way that I want you to like go sit in a park with them on, like film like one of those like third view things, and
Yes,
just
that's
film.
such a good
You guys have to do
idea.
like
Yeah.
sit
You have
in
to
New
do
York in
that.
Central Park and just like wait to see what men come over, like
Yeah.
film like the blurry face people being like, you look good, and then like walking by.
One
like,
of those like social tests.
exactly,
That's such a good
like the
idea.
social test. Oh my gosh, that's so fun though that like it grew into a brand that you would have like never expected. I feel like it's feeling, you're so right, it's a creative mark that we haven't seen before. Because I was even gonna say like we've seen like little face patches or stickers, but never like a full little like tattoo and like that last a minute and you know that like fill your needs and like make you feel so good. But
Who knew this was a need?
who does it need? Honestly, I'm gonna get hit on more. All the single girlies. We're calling all single girlies. Hi everyone. Today I am so excited to share with you a way that you can support small businesses with Amazon's Support Small storefront. If you haven't heard, Support Small features unique products from small businesses all over the country. As you know, when you shop small businesses, it's so much more than just a purchase. We're supporting and investing in our communities. That's because small business owners foster creativity and imagination, and they create jobs and opportunities. With Support Small, you can shop by category: home and garden, beauty and personal care, you name it. You can also learn more about the amazing business owners behind the products. And, fun fact, more than 60% of sales on the Amazon stores are from independent sellers, most of which are small and medium business sized. So next time you're looking for a gift or a little something for yourself, don't forget to check amazon.com/supportsmall. But you had kind of joked about building the website and things like that. What motivated you to push your products on multiple channels, like including specifically Amazon, and what are some of the key steps that you took to get there today?
Yeah, well, Amazon allows more accessibility. So there's a lot of customers that maybe need the product like the next day, they're going to a concert, and it just provides a store for people to go and shop and get these products accessibly. And then it also allows a bigger reach of audience, because sometimes as a new brand or a startup brand, customers don't trust like a website in that way.
Especially yours.
Especially mine.
When it looks like the early
when it looks like
2000s.
that.
Sorry,
You're like, what is
They're
this?
like, is this real? Is this not real?
Yeah, exactly.
They're stealing my credit card number.
Yeah, so it creates a level of trust
That's so
that
true.
customers will now have and can shop small business. So that was one of our goals when we first started Phase It. We said, let's absolutely get on Amazon because it's going to give us a bigger reach.
Yeah, and such far coverage too. Exactly. Like so many people have access to Amazon, and I would have never thought about the trustworthy element, but that's so true. Like I've done merch before, like on like my own little website that I build, and I feel like thinking that, you know, if somebody looks up on Amazon, you instantly know other people have tried it because it's there.
Yeah.
So
And you trust the reviews. The reviews are real.
yeah.
And the shipping time, like, you know,
Yeah.
okay, it's going to be delivered by a certain time.
Yeah.
And
So.
shopping all at once. I want to get my groceries, my other beauty products, and I don't need to pay like another, $4 on someone else's website
Yeah.
to purchase the product.
100%. And it's kind of nice for like, even I feel like when people think of Amazon, they think of like big brands or like quick things that they can get in a moment. The fact that they have the ability to have small businesses on there is amazing.
Yeah, and we're number 1 in our category, which I think is pretty shocking for a small
Icons!
business.
Wait!
Thank you. I mean, the
Woo!
category is like super niche.
Okay.
It's body glitter.
No, stop. Literally still though. That's
Still,
crazy.
yeah.
Think about how many people buy body glitter for music festivals and
Yeah.
concerts.
Yeah.
Number 1, baby. Look at them go. That's so good. I honestly want to backtrack too to like, you were talking about school and like neither of you have worked in like a corporate America setting, but did you know from like an early age that you want to start your own business?
100%. We talked about this earlier. For me, it came out of fear that no one was going to hire me ever,
Oh,
which
okay.
is very confusing in
As like
retrospect.
a working
now.
model too. I feel like people like you're stunning. Of course, like you got like
Thank you. But I was, maybe more of like a serious job.
okay.
We went to great schools and we I had a major in economics, Nina had a major in marketing and nutrition, and I did different types of internships, but none of them related in any way of like stacking a resume to know I can go get like a banking job or
Yeah.
a consulting job. I was so intimidated by my classmates who that's where they were going. And I remember sitting at the last class of my econ thesis, and the professor went around being like, oh, what is everyone doing next? And I was the last one. I'm like, starting a company, and they all kind of looked at me like, girl, like, you don't even speak in class. Like, what in the world are you doing? I mean, like, look at us now.
Look at you now. No, literally.
Totally kidding. But it was definitely insecurity for me of like, I don't want to fail and I don't want to get rejected. So you know what? Who can't fire me? Me. I can't.
You're like,
fire
I
me.
know that I can work hard and like prove it to myself that I can do it.
Exactly.
Like, there's only one person to blame if this goes wrong, and there's only one person to fix it too.
Exactly. And I remember my mentor asking me during college of like, oh, like, what do you want to do? And I was like, oh, I want to do business development. And she was like, well, that's not really a job. And she's like, you have to be like, you know, an executive to do business development. And I was like, oh, okay. And now, like, you know, thinking
It
about
clicks
that.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, like, I, you know, want to be my own boss.
Yeah.
And start a company.
Yeah, I think I always had that fantasy. Like, and when I would manifest and think about my future, even as a kid, I just had a hard time picturing myself in like a corporate 9 to 5. I also don't feel like I'm the kind of person that really like fits in a category, and I never was maybe passionate or like immersed enough in one field or one specialty to say that's what I want to do. Like, I want to do that career. So I loved the like flexibility mindset that you could do anything as an entrepreneur. You could work in tech, you could work in beauty, you could work in fashion, like, you could do whatever you want. So, yeah, like going down that path right when I graduated was really scary, but it was almost scarier like thinking about a corporate job where I wouldn't have that flexibility.
Absolutely.
So yeah, they were both scary, but
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's also this element, like, funny enough, I actually grew up in a small business family. My mom is a business owner.
Oh,
and so my
amazing.
mom immigrated here from Poland and then started a small business. And, like, so I grew up working for my mom and, like, seeing the nitty-gritty that goes into, like, building a business from scratch. If there are any girls listening to this episode, what would be your first advice to them for, like, having the interest or the want or the, you know, the desire to build a business from scratch? Like, where would you say is the most important place to start?
Just starting. Just start and see where it goes. I think looking back now, I wish we would have like shouted from the mountains of like, we're doing this, and post about it and show people the journey. And I think that holds you accountable of, okay, like I just, you know, it's no longer a vision or in my mind. I'm actually putting it on paper and I'm starting something. I think that is the first step.
yeah, I totally agree. I think sometimes the idea can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
So just taking baby steps every day, and not being afraid of like things changing and your company evolving and being flexible with all of that, and not like being too rigid and this is what I'm going to do, this is the product. So being open-minded, but most importantly, as Elliot said, just doing it, like getting started and I live by checklists. Like
I do too.
it's like what gets me by, and just, you know, creating a checklist and like every day saying I'm going to accomplish 5 things, even if they're small things, like just little tasks. But you know what? Over time that compounds and turns into really big progress.
Exactly. And like huge outcomes too. I mean, you guys are #1 on the Amazon storefront. What was your like best advice to entrepreneurs who want to see their brand grow? Like, because I think starting is like a huge thing, but you guys have cultivated an audience now. Like, you are #1. You have this product that like we know and we love and that gets attention when it's out on the street. But, you know, how do you maintain that excitement and that joy? I think there's a lot of joy in starting a business, but growing a business, I think, is like the long run. So what do you recommend for entrepreneurs who are interested in that?
I think for us, going back to your previous question of how we started a business, is for us, we don't really have anything else we can do. Like we have to succeed at this.
Yeah.
We never had that doubt of this is not going to work. Like, we knew we had to make it work.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing else. I mean, I'm sure
I'm
now
obsessed with that driving confidence, though. Like, I'm the same way.
Delusional.
Where it's like, no, it's not delusion. It's literally confidence. I'm obsessed with it. Like, that's your way of, like, validating yourself, is just from knowing in your heart, you're like, this is what I love, this is what I'm doing, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah. I think it's focusing on a few things at a time and really like pulling on those levers. For us early on, since we didn't have a ton of money to work with, it was, okay, how do we have the largest reach with the least amount of money? We were going to post on social all the time. We were going to make that the first thing we figured out, and we cracked the code on virality, which a lot of brands are still trying to figure out how to do that. So it's just one step at a time, like unlocking that first. And then once you've unlocked that, okay, well, now why don't we go figure out how to start an Amazon store? And, you know, you handled that in the early days of, okay, if we're not getting a ton of website traffic, let's open up another omni-channel presence where people can be in front of our product.
Yep.
And once you figure that out, you're moving to the next task on your list. And it's really just slow baby steps. I think it's very overwhelming. There's so many things you're doing as a brand owner.
Yeah.
So just, I think, taking it slowly at first.
I think another thing is there's just so many companies out there. There's so many brands. It's like, how do you stand out? And we really, Elliot and I, noticed success, and we noticed like a shift in our company when we actually became faces of the brand and put ourselves out there.
Yeah.
And like became a little more relatable and showed people, okay, there are people behind this brand. Like there are two women who are working every day at this, and all of a sudden when we actually got behind the camera and put ourselves out there, that's when we noticed more traction. So definitely like put yourselves out there, be proud of your brand. And then I'd say the second thing that's important for growth is like to continue evolving and innovating.
Yeah.
If you have a product that's not really working, or it's like you're pushing, I'm not saying give up on that product, but maybe try another product. Like we kind of did that. We kept going through different products, different renditions, and that's not always advice that works for everyone, but for us it really did. And then we had that hero product, that product that really hit. So like don't be afraid of getting out of your box of how you've defined yourself in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, like our tagline has changed like every like month for the last
Stop,
year and
that's
a
so
half.
wholesome.
So
Okay, what's your favorite tagline though?
Oh, progress over perfection.
yeah,
Stunning.
that one has stuck. We
Yeah,
like
that's
that
a
one.
great one.
That's amazing.
I think also creating goals on a monthly, quarterly, yearly, 5 years from now, and manifesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I have given quotes in interviews that my fiance is like, God, why would you say you were going to do that much in revenue? It's like literally, like, you know, you're not going to do that.
And then it ends up happening.
Babe, we did way
We
more
did
than that.
double that.
No, we did more than double that this year. I was like,
That's
see,
incredible.
we had to manifest it. So
Yeah.
putting it out into the world, making those vision boards, I swear everything that we've put on that list has happened.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that makes my heart so happy. That's so true. I think that's like a big thing is we kind of talked about like you guys had the fear of failing. Like, you know, you couldn't fail in the company because all you could was blame yourself. I think people's fear of starting sometimes is like being associated with the failure, whether like they put themselves in front of the camera and then it doesn't work out or things like that. Did you guys ever have a moment during it where you guys were worried that your company might not make it?
No,
No.
but I think when we were going through the fundraising process and you meet with, they were mostly men that had these like banking backgrounds.
Yeah.
And there is judgment.
You hear no a lot.
Yeah, you hear no a lot. They're asking you all these questions that make sense to us, but like they're not understanding it. And you feel like fundraising is such an emotional process
Yeah.
where you're pitching not only your baby, but yourself. And when people don't get it, that's very disheartening. And it makes you almost rethink what you're doing of, oh, like, is this not clicking with the larger audience or with like these investors that we're trying to raise from? And I think not taking that so seriously, of not taking everyone's advice and really just like following gut intuition of like what feels right for you
Mhm.
was important in those early days.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's the hardest part is like, I always in my gut knew that Elliot and I together would do something great and would be able to create a company, whether it was this company or not. Like, I just always knew that. But yeah, totally, like, you have doubts. I mean, I had like that little thing.
Voice,
like,
the imposter syndrome.
Yeah, of just, imposter syndrome, or just, you know, the catastrophizing mindset of like, well, what if? There's a lot of like what ifs, because you're almost out there like in the wilderness, grasping onto random things, like not knowing what you're fully doing. Like, you're kind of just fake it till you make it energy a lot. And like Elliot said, sometimes, especially in the beginning, like people don't really believe in you. And so you have to be, no one does. So you have to be that, you have to constantly believe in yourself. And that's sometimes a little exhausting.
Yeah.
But
that's also the best part about having a co-founder.
Yeah, that you guys
so
can bounce.
important.
Only one of you is allowed to have a bad day at a time, you know,
Yeah.
and then the other one can bring you back up
Yeah,
from
and
it.
that's how it's always been. I mean, there's days where I'll call Nina and I was like, can I cry? And she's like, yeah, I felt this way last week.
Yeah.
So having that partnership is super important.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a lifesaver for us.
So if it wasn't this business, what else do you think you'd be doing?
A different business.
Yeah. We're like, yeah, I would do another business.
Yeah.
I mean, Nina's always like, what would you do after this? And I was like, do it again.
Well, like, what do you know what product, you know what space you would be in? Like, what's your dream space to enter if it wasn't this one?
I think like women, like reproductive system. I don't know, it's going down more of that realm.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I honestly haven't really thought about it that
This is
much.
the baby right now.
Yeah,
You're like,
this is- you're
the
making me
baby.
think
Exactly.
right now.
No,
I
we
love beauty. I really do.
We agree. We want to have a house where we
Yes.
have a farm and we
The
grow
dream.
our ingredients, and then we go back to Labruna Skincare,
Yeah.
and we like grow everything that we put in the products.
yeah.
That's actually the dream.
No, the dream is for sure to just have land.
Land
Land
and a
and beautiful
backyard.
gardens
I know
and
two New
animals.
York girlies being like,
Yeah.
I want a yard. I feel the same. Even living in LA, I'm
told-
like, I would love a yard right
Yes,
now.
I told Elliot this morning. I'm like, I want those miniature cows that I keep seeing on TikTok.
The fluffy
Have you seen them? The
ones.
fluffy ones, and they give them baths.
Yep.
I want a ton of animals, not to eat though. Like
Just to cuddle.
Just pets.
I really want a kitten. Honestly,
Oh,
I would love. I
we
feel
should
like
get a kitten.
I feel like we'd be thriving if we had like a
Oh,
cat.
yeah, we'd
sitting
be,
this-
like,
right?
right
I
here.
feel like
Yeah.
she'd be here with us.
Yeah.
It has to be
Love
her.
that. Or
Aw.
hospitality.
Yeah.
I like
Ooh,
hospitality.
That's a good one.
But
I
that's
like
like
that too.
late nights,
A
which I
farm
don't do.
where everyone comes and stays on your farm and plays with your cows.
and then buys their skincare.
and buys and it's like a self-care retreat.
Yeah.
Stunning.
Oh my gosh, yeah, with like a spa and a tea house where you can like hold little, ceremonies.
This is like
and you
where
can do your Reiki again.
Stop. This is like where everyone's like, my girlfriend wants like a bookstore, flower shop, ice cream shop,
concept
brunch.
store.
Yeah, that's me. That's like what I want in life. Is like I want all those things in one location.
yeah.
It's like your house is like your spa, your fitness, your wellness, your skincare.
How about
Oh.
you?
If I were to start a business,
If you weren't doing this, no, you have a business.
I do. And that's like what's kind of crazy is I feel like I still think in like the element of like where I am right now. Like my dream one day, I don't know, the podcast probably doesn't know this, but like my dream one day is for Anna's Guide to become a wellness brand. So like you end up, but it's like a multifaceted wellness brand where like we have Anna's Guide to wellness, like health, women's, whatever, and kind of go down to like Anna's Guide to travel, Anna's Guide to
I love that.
whatever, and so do like journals and books and stationaries and merch and
Yeah, well, what
Coffee
I love
shops.
about your podcast so much is it's like unlocking all of these different things, like confidence. Like,
love.
I
Yeah.
feel like not everyone feels confident every day. I
No.
mean, most of the time, none of us feel confident.
True.
And I think just having episodes where we're just talking about like such relatable subjects that like we all personally feel, I think is so amazing
Yeah.
for you to be putting out there.
I think that was always like my goal from the get-go was like creating a corner of the internet where I didn't always see versions of myself in it, and so I wanted to like create that for other girls to see themselves through that. And like I grew up in the age of social media where it was like we had the Instagram girlies and everyone was really aesthetic and everything was like perfect and color coordinated using preset. Kind of like gave me the creative freedom to be like, I don't have to do my videos and makeup on. I
Yeah.
can make them about anything. They can be about my good days, my bad days, my breakups, my, being in grad school, not knowing what to navigate. So I think like a brand that somehow still encapsulates that feeling, that would be my big
love
dream.
that.
Thanks. Okay, so let's talk about some do's and don'ts of the business. We kind of covered like biggest advice to young entrepreneurs, right? Is there anything else you would add to that conversation? Any big advice?
Okay, you go.
All right, two. I would say one, try and run your business as scrappy as possible and very lean. I think when we've seen friends take on a ton of capital early on, they only know how to run a business with a ton of capital. So once they deplete,
They're
have
like-
to go fundraise again.
Yeah.
That would be first. And two, once you do that, you give away your own voice and your own vision of the company to somebody else who now has a say. The second one would be along those lines of everyone is going to have an opinion about what you're doing. You don't need to take everybody's opinion to heart.
Yeah.
The reason like you are a founder is because like you have a vision and you need to consistently listen to your gut because you are going to make the best decision.
100%. I love that.
Yeah, mine was similar. Institutional financing and investing is just it's rough to do, and a lot of my entrepreneurial friends, that's like the one thing they say they wish they didn't fundraise as much as they did in the beginning, and I'm so happy we didn't. Really happy because, as Elliot said, like then you have these outside investors telling you how to run your company before you have really even built your company or
Yeah.
like created it and created the brand, and then I don't know, it just you lose control and you lose equity too.
Absolutely.
And you don't learn how to run your company financially efficiently.
Yeah, that's so true. That's such good advice too. Like if you know how to build it from nothing, then like if you ever
Yeah.
return back to nothing, you can start again.
Yeah.
You know.
Bootstrap as much as you can, and if you do need financing, which you are going to need some, like either put your own money in the beginning or do like a small friends and family raise.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. That's so true. And then is there any tools that you feel like you would recommend or you wish you knew existed before you started your business? Like, how did you get your knowledge?
Oh God, being a founder and building a business is business school. I mean, if like I had children and they're like, send me to business school, I'd be like, I'm gonna give you some money and you can go start a business, or you can go figure out how to.
It's
you know,
real
get
world
some
experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of like, I feel like cheat sheets to make things more efficient or faster. So this is like one mistake I made that I'm like, when I look back at it, I'm like, how did I do that? And like not realize that this was very silly. But I literally was packing the patches myself and like sealing the envelope.
We've done it. Like, that's, yeah.
I'm just like a hands-on person. I was like, I don't want to pay for the shipping of it all. So I'm going to bring it here and then I'll do it myself.
Your apartment was also a warehouse for like 3 years.
Yeah, it was like a mess and it wasted so much time. So definitely like using streamline efficient tools or using like apps on, you know, your website.
Or making that first part-time hire.
Yeah, that's so true too. Like bringing in help when you need it. Exactly.
Yeah.
I started my merch during COVID. Like I did a little merch company for like my brand and like my taglines and stuff. I had a family friend screen print, and then every day on top of making my content, I would go and package and ship everybody's sweatshirt orders alone. Like I'd go and like fold them and I'd handwrite everybody notes and like slip them in the packages and ship them off. But like you don't realize like how much work that is, and like it really is, but it makes all the difference when you know the work that goes into the brand and like how much love and care. It makes you respect everybody else's role as the business as well so much more.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then you guys kind of hit the celebrity lottery with getting Taylor Swift to wear.
Like, the dream.
Like
Literally the dream.
If you were to like dream of like the
No.
ideal scenario, like
It's Taylor.
How? God, we have good karma.
Okay, no, literally karma.
Yeah.
So what is, like, how did that change, not only your perspective, how did it change your business? Did it, like, have an impact on your business? How did it make you feel?
Oh my
I think this is a
gosh.
really, like, beautiful rose to even end on, is, like...
Yes. So, things don't happen overnight.
No.
And, like, would love to clarify that since we're talking about how to start a business. Is I think a lot of the media clickbait out there has been overnight success, Phase It Beauty, and we built such a foundation and a team in order to support what happened. Also, a strategy was very much in place. So back when Nina was product developing the glitter freckles, I could only think of one concert tour that had been going on all year for another year that I was like, God, would this be perfect on her fans and on her, like on stage? Like that was the goal. We've learned that getting in touch with celebrity PR teams or management teams is impossible. There's just so many walls up.
So many hoops to hop through.
Exactly, and it's no, they don't want you to send any free stuff. But from my fashion background, I know, you know who loves free stuff? Makeup artists.
Yeah.
They always love free stuff. So I was like, all right, I am going to see who she works with. I saw she worked with one makeup artist more regularly, and I reached out to her makeup artist agency. They gave me her address.
Incredible.
I was like, whoa, okay, all right. So
You're like, got it.
Got it. Sent the products to her. And this was back in May. And then, like, whatever. Like, nothing happened. But we weren't stopping there. And perseverance is another great quality of a founder, an entrepreneur. So Sabrina Carpenter was also touring with her.
Exactly what we're
And
about to
was
go
her-
to tomorrow.
Yes, and was her opener. So I was like, okay, maybe I send it to her people too, and she'll see them on Sabrina and be like, I want those. So we did that, and then lastly, we sent to the wives and girlfriends of.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
The wags, right?
The wags.
The wives and
Sent to
girlfriends.
the wags, and I was like, okay, if she's in that VIP box and sees it on the wag, she's gonna want.
She's
some
gonna
too.
want to be, like, we all want a twin, and it'll be a moment.
Exactly. So I guess a few Mondays ago, I come home from hot yoga. I'm checking the Phase It Beauty Instagram account, and Karita writes to us and is like, I think Taylor is wearing your glitter freckles right now on TV. And I was like, kind of like blacked out a little bit.
I just got chills just now you saying that.
And my fiance had Monday Night Football on, so it was on the TV. But before I even looked at the TV, I'm on my Instagram Explorer page, and it's like Dave Portnoy, page 6, like everything is a close-up of her face with the glitter freckles. And I start bawling.
Aww.
And my fiance has been a part of like the whole journey.
Yeah,
and
he knows what it means.
He knows the highs and lows, and thank God he captured this moment. But he films me crying, like, I was like, why is that like his reaction?
No, also he's like, I got the content. Don't you worry about it.
Like, oh,
He's on it.
Honestly, I love a man like that. I love a man with a phone.
Manager.
A momager, a manager.
Yeah, he's
Wait,
my
that's actually
manager.
really cute.
He's gonna love this. I start crying, not because I think the crying came from third-party validation of like, Nina and I have worked our butts off, and it has been emotionally tolling. We've sacrificed so much as our friends climbed up corporate ladders and they had stability in their jobs and in their salaries, and we're buying houses. We had none of that.
Yeah.
And it finally felt like, wow, things are really about to change. And I just like knew it. And saw the TV, saw her wearing it, called Nina. Nina won't answer her phone. And I was like, girl, like our lives
You're like
just
this. It's like the FaceTime thing where you're like holding the phone and you're like,
I got engaged. And she's
you're
like,
like waiting and no one answers and you're like, oh my gosh, I had to try again. I'm like holding it, waiting.
So finally Nina answered. I was like, what? And I told her, and we worked all night. I like didn't sleep that night. And
Really?
Yeah, because probably now all these orders are coming in of people who saw it on Taylor.
Exactly.
Wow.
So the first 24 hours was a 3,500% increase in website sales and traffic. Every media and beauty outlet, from domestic to international news, like people were like, "Hey, you're on my TV channel in the Philippines." Like the reach
That's
that
incredible.
this had was insane. The next morning, CBS News calls me and I go to their studio in New York City. 48 hours later, NBC sets up in my living room to do a whole, documentary interview on this. And from there, I was like, we both need to make sure that we are maximizing this as much as possible. So for basically the last month, we haven't slept or eaten, and our bodies are really taking a toll.
And lots of flights and like
lots of flights,
lots of interviews.
But I mean, it's been insane. Like the following weeks, we've had like major, Fortune 500 companies reach out, national sports teams reach out. Like everyone wants to collaborate.
Yeah.
And like really like pat ourselves on the back because we tried to open those doors for ourselves for so long, and everyone's like, no, like not interested, didn't get it. And now they're like,
now everybody's
"What
like, how can we invest?
Yeah, what
exactly.
can we do for you?" And we're like,
Oh my gosh.
sorry, you're too late.
And
today."
now you have the power. That's
Yeah.
incredible. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm so proud of you.
I have to tell you from my perspective.
No, I wanna hear.
because
Please
it was
tell
so
me.
funny. I literally am glued to my phone. So like Elliot and I harass each other all day pretty much, and like we always pick up like that. And I was like, okay, it's the end of the day. It's like 6 o'clock, 5:30. I was meeting my friend at this tea house, and she's very spiritual, and she's like, we're gonna do a little meditation. And so I'm like, I'm gonna put my phone down for 30 minutes. Of course,
In
this
that 30
happens
minutes.
during that time. So
That was a good little
yeah, maybe
meditation you
maybe
had
that
there.
meditation.
No, maybe that was
Taylor
the-
was in there.
No, she was. It was manifesting right there in that moment.
Do you have lucid dreams about Taylor now?
I have dreams of
She's
her.
in all my dreams now.
She's totally in my
You're
dreams,
like,
yeah.
I don't stop thinking
I mean,
about
she's
her.
like in my life every day now.
That's incredible.
Yeah. I mean, she gave us so much power. And
You guys are practically Taylor's best friends.
If only.
I'd love to meet her. Wink, wink.
That's so fun.
Yeah. But so I look at my phone.
Yes.
Every single person I know texting me, calling me. Elliot's called me. I'm going through my phone like this, sliding on the messages, and I see. I'm like, did Taylor Swift wear our product? Because that would be crazy. And then I call you, and Elliot's like, whatever you're doing, put it down. It's time to get to work. It was like a scene from a movie.
Like the drama. It's the drama of it.
I mean, it was super
And I look at
dramatic.
my friend. I was supposed to get dinner with her. I'm like, I'm really sorry.
I
but
gotta go.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
Work's calling.
You're like, Taylor's waiting. There's one.
So.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
But oh my gosh, it was a dream. Like I don't even know how to describe the emotions of it. Elliot I feel like it hit you emotionally right away. You were crying every time I called her that night, crying. She was so
That's adorable.
Crying
Yeah.
is my love language.
and then
So
I'm usually the
blushing.
one that cries. Like I'm so sensitive. I'm crying all the time. I didn't cry the first night, but then Friday, like 3 days after, that's when it hit me, and I was just bawling all day too. And I'm like, oh, I get it. Like the crying, it's happening to me now too.
second
We've
time-
synced up. Now
Yeah,
we're alive.
I was like, it was about time. The second time it hit me, I went to her concert in NOLA and then in Indianapolis with my
Love,
fiance.
yeah.
And I looked around, and no kidding, 1 in 3 people were wearing our product.
Stop.
And that was like, It was so overwhelming. Like I couldn't even believe it. It was like disassociation of like, whoa, like these people know like who we like what we're doing.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
what?
It's even funny where like you're standing there and they might not know who you are specifically, but like they're wearing something that you like put your heart and soul into.
Yeah.
No, I mean, but also I was taking like pictures with our product, like with her stage in the back, and
Yeah.
having my fiance, you know, back to manager.
As he should.
Yeah.
Photographer.
Girls recognize me in my section, so I'm standing there with the product, and this girl like is like shoving people, and it's just like, "Is this your brand?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh my god!" Shoves her phone in front of my fiance's face, and she's like, "Take a picture of us." And so from there on, like, there's like 5
Bold.
people in our section. Like,
Yeah.
can we take a picture with you? It's just like, this is insane.
You're like, I am a celebrity now. You're like, I am Taylor. No.
Again, like disassociation.
That's
because I'm just like,
incredible.
why does anyone want to take a picture of me?
Oh, but also like, guys, look what you've done, and also what an inspiration to also hear that story and hear like the impact that you had, and that I love the idea that it wasn't overnight. Like it's
Yeah.
not just luck that Taylor found it. It's
No.
like all of those steps that you took, all of the manifestation that you put in, all of the moments that you like took a chance on your brand, and it paid off.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so like motivating and inspiring. I hope you guys know like that. I have no doubt it's gonna make an impact on my community hearing that.
Thank you. That's
Ah.
so sweet of you.
Is there anything else you want to add to today's episode?
Oh man.
I feel like we should put our hearts and souls into that
we
episode.
said a lot. I know we've kind of said this already, but if you're like, if anyone's thinking of going down the entrepreneurial route, like, just know that there is a community out there. Like, we're there, we're here. Like, I'm always open to like chatting with people about this because it can be really lonely, and it can feel like you don't know what to do or where to turn. And the answer to that is just to keep going and just to take baby steps and not let it overwhelm you and swallow you up, because it can feel like that. But as long as you have passion and commitment and like a good mindset that's positive and you want to do something good, like you can make it there. Just have that belief in yourself and find friends in a community that are also
Yeah.
on the same page, because that's going to give you even more power and leverage to continue driving and motivating yourself every day.
Yeah, and communities like yours are so important because
Yeah.
for us, it's so isolating. You don't have a team. Nina lives across the country. You're not gonna like keep talking to your mom or your partner about this, and your girlfriends, most of them like don't understand the highs and lows that
Yeah.
you're feeling on a daily basis, or they don't think you have a job. I think for a long time people didn't think we had a job.
Yeah.
It's
We're
like
working
a-
so many hours.
You're like, I
that
swear that
there's
behind the
nothing to
scenes.
show you.
Yeah.
Or like the comments would be like, so what else do you do? It's like, no, this is it.
As a creator, I feel that in my core. Exactly.
Yeah, so I think really it's hard to find the community, so you do have to seek it out, but I wish we would have sought it out sooner, because I think it would have helped probably our mental health of knowing that there was other people doing what we're doing.
Yeah. I'd say the other thing is to like not take it so seriously.
Yeah.
I think it can get so serious, and especially like the money aspect of it all.
Yeah.
I mean, that is rough. You know, like we've felt that, like not having money, it's intense. But yeah, I definitely like have had periods where I can be so hard on myself and so serious and so like methodical about it. And I noticed that we've had more success like when I'm actually more relaxed about everything. And like can take kind of a step back, because then you can see things more from like an outside perspective.
Yeah.
Vacations are important.
Vacations are really important.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So just like don't take things so seriously. Try to flow with it
Yeah.
and enjoy the process.
I love that. That's so true and that's so valuable. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, thank you so much for coming on today's episode.
Thank you.
Oh, guys, that was Anna's guide to starting a business. We're so happy that you're here. We hope this episode gave you some inspiration, some perspective, and maybe with the start of the new year, you have an idea that you can't wait to get off your chest and you take that big leap and start your business on your own. You can follow both of these lovely girls. All of their socials will be linked down below. And also don't forget to like this podcast and save it and subscribe over on YouTube, where you can get all the video portions on your podcast. If you guys were inspired or looking for something incredible this holiday season, you can shop Phase It and more of my small business holiday favorites on my wish list on Amazon.com/Anna's Holiday Picks.